85% of people who fail financially make the same extremely simple mistake, and worst of all, they think it's completely normal. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, once lost everything but turned his life around in just a few years by recognizing these poor money habits. In today's video, I'm going to show you 21 things people with a poor money mindset waste money on. And if you avoid these mistakes, you'll be on a fast track to building wealth and achieving financial freedom. Plus, at the end of this video, I'll reveal the most dangerous financial mistake that 99% of people never notice. Number 1, impulse buying. When you walk into a supermarket, sometimes it feels like you're swept away by a wave of attractive items, from sparkling handbags to newly released smartphones. Each product gives off an irresistible urge, as if you will miss out on an opportunity if you don't buy it immediately. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, do I really need this item? Or is it simply an impulse, a moment of wanting to do something new? This is one of the wasteful habits many people fall into, and it can be more costly than you think. Each time you enter a store, just one unnecessary item might seem insignificant, but if you add it all up, these unnecessary purchases can easily amount to nearly $2,000 a year. Not to mention, these are expenses you can never get back, things you'll never fully use or might quickly forget about. Don't think that small amounts of money don't matter. Imagine if, instead of spending on impulse items, you could invest that money in a retirement fund, or take a course to improve your skills, or simply invest in tools that help you improve your personal finances. You'll see that controlling those impulses will bring long-term benefits. A simple but highly effective solution is, whenever you're about to purchase something, stop and ask yourself, is this item really necessary? And if I don't buy it, could I use this money to reach my financial goals faster? Sometimes, just taking a moment to think will help you realize that the item isn't as important as your bigger life goals. Remember, successful business people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos aren't ones to spend money on luxury goods or impulse buys. They are both very patient and wise in managing their finances. They understand that postponing the temptations before them will help them build a mighty empire in the future. If you want to follow in their footsteps, start by controlling impulse buys and focusing on long-term financial goals. In conclusion, each small item you purchase can decrease your chances of reaching your larger goals. Don't let these impulse decisions derail your financial path. Instead, always think carefully before spending, and always remember that patience and wisdom will lead you to success. Number 2, eating out. You may not notice it, but eating out frequently has become a habit for many people. Every time you finish work or just want to relax, it's easy to scroll through food delivery apps or stop by a nearby restaurant without thinking about the long-term consequences. The reality is, eating out doesn't just provide convenience, it's a way of burning money without even realizing it. When you think about dining out, it might seem like just simple meals, but when you add it all up, you'll realize it's quite a large amount. On average, Americans spend about $3,600 each year eating out. That's a huge sum of money that could be used for far more important financial goals. You could easily imagine that amount being enough to start a small retirement fund, invest in a career development course, or even start your own small business. But instead of doing that, we let the money flow into unnecessary meals. So what's the solution to this problem? First, let's begin with planning home-cooked meals. Not only will this save you a significant amount of money, but will also help you control your health and the nutritional quality of each meal. While it may take a bit more time to prepare, this is a key way to maintain long-term financial goals. Think about it. If you replace dining out every night with preparing simple meals at home, the money you save won't just be enough to pay off your lingering debts, but it will also help you build a stable financial foundation. I remember a story about Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks. Before he succeeded with his global coffee chain, he had to cook his own meals and make incredibly smart financial decisions. It was these saving habits, even down to the smallest details like preparing meals, that allowed him to not only build a coffee empire, but also become one of the world's most successful entrepreneurs. Similarly, you can apply these simple habits to your own life. Start with small changes, like cooking at home instead of eating out, and you will see a significant shift in your finances. Don't let mindless spending rob you of the opportunity to achieve bigger goals. Instead, take control of your finances from the smallest decisions, and you'll see enormous results in the future. So what's the outcome? Not only will you save a good amount of money, but you'll also bring yourself closer to financial goals that you might have thought were unattainable. As the famous quote from Warren Buffett goes, "Never spend money on things that don't provide long-term value. Start saving from the smallest things, and you'll see your finances change in miraculous ways." Number 3, paying off credit card interest. We just talked about controlling the habit of eating out to save for the future. But that's just a small part of the bigger picture. Another, more insidious and dangerous financial trap is waiting for us every day. Credit card interest. I still remember the nervous excitement I felt when I first held my credit card in my hand. It was so easy, so convenient. Just swipe the card and everything I wanted was mine. But that feeling was just like borrowing a future I didn't really own yet. Because, in the end, the cost of that convenience was far heavier than I ever imagined. Month after month, I dutifully paid interest on items that sometimes I couldn't even remember buying. Those small, seemingly harmless fees accumulated into a burden that held me back and trapped me. And then I realized a simple yet painful truth. Every penny of interest I paid was money I was buying back from the past, not investing in my future. Just think about it. Instead of pouring money into old bills, I could be using that money to invest in myself. Learning a new skill, starting a small business project, or even just building an emergency fund for my family. Look at figures like Dave Ramsey, a well-known financial expert in the US. He too was heavily in credit card debt when he was younger, but through his determination to pay it off, he rebuilt his personal finances and became one of the most successful financial consultants in the country. So what's the real solution here? Pay off your credit card debt as soon as possible. Don't let those interest payments keep eating away at your valuable opportunities. Every dollar you pay on your credit card isn't just paying off a debt, it's reclaiming your freedom. Because financial freedom doesn't come from how much money you make, but from how you manage it. Every debt that's cleared is a step closer to achieving the dreams you once thought were out of reach. Remember, successful people like Oprah Winfrey and Robert Herjavec, a famous investor from the show Shark Tank, understand that power doesn't come from how much money you have. It comes from how wisely you use it. So today, ask yourself, am I paying for the past? Or am I investing in my future? You absolutely have a choice. And just one smart decision today can completely change your life tomorrow. Number 4, small expenses and absent games. As I slowly relieved myself from the burden of credit card interest, I began to notice another financial trap quietly draining my wallet, one I hadn't even been aware of: small spending in absent games. At first, everything seemed harmless. A few dollars for a new skin in a game, a few cents to unlock another feature in a favorite app. These tiny transactions happen in the blink of an eye, faster than a blink when you're scrolling through your phone in your free time. And each time I told myself, it's just a few bucks, it's not that much. But just like small drops of water silently accumulate. One day, I realized I'd spent hundreds, even thousands of dollars on virtual items that offered no real benefit, except for a few fleeting moments of joy. And sadly, that joy was like a soap bubble, beautiful but gone in seconds. Meanwhile, my bank account was becoming more and more fragile, and big goals like investing, starting a business, or simply saving for dream vacations were continuously pushed further away. When you look at successful people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, you see they don't let impulsive financial decisions dictate their lives. When Musk was starting PayPal, he lived on ramen noodles and spent less than $1 a day on food. He understood that to achieve big goals, you need to first control the small expenses. So, if today you're still scrolling through virtual items in some game, ask yourself, will this money bring me closer to my dreams? Or is it just a trap delaying my success? You deserve more than that. And it all starts with small, consistent, and mindful choices, starting right now. Number 5, insurance that's unnecessary or too expensive. Honestly, There was a time when I thought that the more insurance I had, the safer I would be. Home, car, health, even small things like my phone, I kept nodding to buy more extensive coverage. Each month, I paid a significant amount, thinking I was investing in safety. But in reality, it was like paying to keep an umbrella in the sunshine all year long. I was wasting money quietly and persistently. When I added it all up, I was stunned to realize that I had paid more than twice the actual value needed for insurance. And worse, there were policies I had never and probably would never use. I'd let the fear of the worst happening guide my financial decisions, rather than using logic and smart calculations. Successful entrepreneurs like Warren Buffett don't think like this. He's known for meticulously calculating every risk and only spending money on what is truly necessary. Buffett once said, "Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing." And I realized that by blindly spending money on every type of insurance without consideration, I was the one creating more risk for my financial situation. Recognizing my mistake, I decided to make a change. I reached out to independent insurance brokers, people not tied to any specific company, who could help me compare and choose the most cost-effective options while still providing full protection. Through them, I revamped my entire insurance portfolio, eliminating unnecessary packages, negotiating more reasonable premiums, and ensuring that my money was truly being used wisely. The relief I felt was immense. It was like finally removing heavy, stone-laden backpacks from my shoulders, enabling me to walk faster and more confidently on my path to achieving my dreams. So, if you're feeling like your finances are always short, even though your income is decent, try taking a step back and ask, are you quietly paying for unnecessary worries? Saving every dollar today brings you one step closer to financial freedom tomorrow. And sometimes, change starts with a simple call to an independent broker. Number 6, buying an expensive car just to impress. I still vividly remember the day I drove my brand new car out of the dealership. The smell of fresh leather, the shiny paint, the overwhelming sense of pride. It felt like I had just touched the pinnacle of success. But that pride quickly turned into headaches about the car loan, sky-high insurance, and expensive maintenance, simply because the car was too new and too luxurious. I realized that what I was really doing wasn't buying a means of transportation, but buying into an illusion, a shell for others to look at and judge me as wealthier than I actually was. But the cost of that illusion was far too high. It was eroding my financial freedom bit by bit. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, drove a beat-up old Ford for many years, even after he became a billionaire. Warren Buffett, too, still drives a long-owned Cadillac despite his billions. These men showed me that true wealth doesn't lie in the car you drive, but in how you manage your money. Awakened by this valuable lesson, I started looking for an alternative. Instead of paying for a new car to impress, I opted for a used vehicle thoroughly inspected, still good and reliable. It was much cheaper, had lower insurance, and more manageable maintenance costs. I took the difference in price and invested it in bigger goals, retirement funds, investment portfolios, and priceless experiences for myself and my family. Believe me, driving a used car and knowing you're getting closer to financial freedom is 1,000 times better than driving a brand new car while your heart is weighed down with debt. So, if you're stuck between buying a shiny new car or choosing a reliable used one, ask yourself, do you want to drive a car to impress others, or do you want to drive your life towards true freedom? The right choice today is the solid foundation for tomorrow's future. Number 7, spending on small pleasures. Occasionally, after a stressful day of work, I would tell myself, just one latte, I deserve a treat. Or, on hot summer afternoons, I wouldn't hesitate to treat myself to a cold ice cream. These small joys, at first, seemed like refreshing breezes passing through a busy life. But if you're not careful, they can accumulate into a financial storm without warning. Did you know that, according to statistics, the average American spends thousands of dollars every year on small pleasures like these? Things that seem harmless: a $5 coffee, a $3 ice cream, a $7 snack, when added up daily, weekly, and monthly, can quickly eat into a significant portion of savings. I remember Warren Buffett once said, "Never underestimate the small expenses. A small leak can sink a big ship. This richest man in the world is still known for his frugality, driving an old car, eating breakfast at McDonald's for a few dollars, and firmly rejecting unnecessary expenses. Instead of cutting out all moments of self-reward because life isn't just about hard work, I learned to set limits. A favorite coffee on weekends after a hard work week, an ice cream treat on a special occasion with family, or a snack as a reward for a milestone. Those gifts became much more precious when I practiced moderation. Most importantly, I understood that controlling these small pleasures today is building financial freedom for tomorrow. Every dollar saved from unnecessary spending is a solid brick in the dream house of the future. Number 8. Expensive clothes. After learning to reward myself with small pleasures in moderation, I realized another trap that was just as dangerous: the allure of expensive designer clothes. I've lost count of how many times I walked into a Gucci store, gently touched the high-end fabric of a newly released jacket, and thought to myself, I deserve this. And just like that, without much thought, I'd swipe my card. But here's the ironic thing: that initial thrill only lasted for a moment. Very soon after, that jacket would lie forgotten in a closet, like an expensive decoration reminding me of my impulsive decisions. The worry began to knock on my heart every time I checked my bank account. Those moments of treating myself, accumulated over time, had taken away financial opportunities that I could have seized. I recalled the story of Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors in America. Despite his immense wealth, he remained loyal to simple suits bought from the same small store in Omaha, Nebraska. Buffett understood that value isn't in the expensive labels, but in how we invest our resources. Realizing this lesson, I forced myself to change. Before pulling out my wallet for anything, I asked myself, will this item truly bring me closer to my financial goals? And if the answer is no, I would firmly put it down. The solution I found wasn't to give up everything beautiful. Instead, I learned to spend selectively, prioritizing durable, high-quality items that I truly needed. I also established a rule. Each time I wanted to buy a luxury item, I would take at least 48 hours to think it over before making a decision. One time, I was inspired by Steve Jobs' story. He was famous for wearing the same black turtleneck sweater and jeans every day. It wasn't because he couldn't afford luxury clothes, but because Jobs understood time and energy should be spent on more important matters rather than worrying about what to wear each morning. I chose to follow that path. With fewer headaches over clothing, I had more time and money to invest in truly profitable opportunities like retirement funds or expanding my personal skills. Purchasing luxury items once brought me fleeting joy, but it also left lasting scratches on my financial map. I learned that true, lasting pride doesn't come from labels, but from the financial freedom we build step by step. Number 9. Expensive phone plan. I still clearly remember at that time, I was paying over $150 per month just for a premium phone plan with a bunch of features that, frankly, I barely ever used. Unlimited data, high-end entertainment channels, and additional perks. It all sounded glamorous, but most of the time my phone was just for calls and simple texting. Then, one day, I read about Warren Buffett, the legendary billionaire who had used a basic phone for many years, and I was truly shocked. Buffett, who had once been the third richest person in America, didn't feel the need to chase the latest technology. He focused his wealth on what really mattered: smart investments and disciplined saving. I asked myself, if Warren Buffett didn't need an extravagant phone plan to succeed, why was I tying myself down with these pointless fees? The very next day, I researched and switched to a simpler phone plan, focusing only on my actual needs: calls, texts, and just enough internet data. My monthly costs were cut to less than half. The money I saved, I didn't let it go to waste. I automatically transferred the difference into a small investment fund I had recently opened. Like little bricks, each of those savings was slowly building a strong financial foundation for the future. If I once thought that having an expensive phone plan would make me feel successful, now I understand that true success isn't about what we show off to the world. It's about the quiet stability inside. And from these small changes, a new financial journey is unfolding before me. The journey of freedom, the journey of control, and a journey of living with purpose. Number 10, bank fees. And you know what? Just as I was still reeling from the phone bill issue, I discovered another black hole in my wallet: bank fees. At first, I thought the small amounts every month didn't matter much. A little account maintenance fee, some transaction fees, occasional withdrawal charges. It seemed like nothing, right? But one day when I had some free time, I added it all up. I was stunned. In a year, I had thrown away nearly $400 on these small fees. The feeling was like tearing apart my own wallet piece by piece, without even realizing it. I remembered the advice of Susie Orman, a very famous personal finance expert in the US. She once emphasized, small change isn't a problem until it turns into hundreds or even thousands. Thinking about it, I realized how true it was. People aren't rich because they earn more, but because they keep more. The next day, I researched and transferred my bank accounts immediately. I opened a high-interest savings account with no maintenance fees or transaction charges. In fact, the money in the account even quietly earned interest every day. It wasn't much, just a few dollars each month, but over time, it accumulated like a small stream, gently nourishing my dream of financial freedom. You see, it doesn't take anything grand to make a change. You just need to pay attention, clean up those invisible fees that are slowly eating away at your finances every day, and you've already gained an advantage that many others are missing out on. If I can do it, you definitely can too. It only takes sitting down once and reviewing your bank statements. You'll be surprised, just like I was. Number 11, vices, bad habits, cigarettes, e-cigarettes, etc. You know, there are habits that we never think will become a big problem, until one day we look back and realize we've spent a fortune on them. And if you're still indulging in habits like smoking, vaping, or anything related to nicotine, you really need to reconsider. I used to think the same way. I thought smoking was just a normal thing, like a social habit. One cigarette, one evening, it didn't seem like it had hurt anything. But when I did the math, how much was I actually spending on cigarettes every month? And what about in a year? And if you vape too, that money combined could have funded a retirement account. Every time I looked at my receipts, especially those from buying cigarettes or e-cigarettes, I couldn't help but feel a pang of regret. I hadn't realized I was throwing away the hard-earned money without a second thought. But you know what? I decided to quit, and you can too. Don't think that quitting a long-standing habit is impossible. Think about all the bigger things you could achieve if you didn't let your money drain into these meaningless habits. One person I admire is Elon Musk, a man who never stops striving and always invests in things that truly matter. He's poured millions of dollars into seemingly impossible projects, yet never wastes a cent on things like cigarettes or e-cigarettes. He understands that money can generate returns if invested wisely. Look at what you're spending each month and ask yourself, are these things really bringing me closer to my financial goals? If the answer is no, then it's time to stop. And if you made the decision to quit, instead of spending money on cigarettes, invest in your health. You could join a fitness class, buy a bike, or even just take time to jog in the park. Health is an investment you'll never lose on. So, don't let bad habits rob you of your financial opportunities. If you're smoking or even vaping, reconsider. Quitting isn't just about cutting out a bad habit. It's also a step toward building a healthier financial future. Number 12, buying extended warranties. Have you ever thought about buying an extended warranty for products like your oven, toaster, or washing machine? You might think it's a good way to protect yourself from unexpected breakdowns, but there are some things you should consider before spending your money on these warranties. Why is this a waste? Buying an extended warranty is like paying for something that hasn't even happened yet. You're paying for something that may or may not happen, and in many cases, modern products are built to last a long time. Moreover, many manufacturers already provide a basic warranty that's long enough to give you peace of mind without worrying about extra charges. You may think an extended warranty is like a safety umbrella for your finances, but in reality, you're just wasting money on unnecessary expenses. Think about another option, building your own emergency fund. This is a smart way to protect your finances. Instead of spending money on an extended warranty, you could save that money into a fund dedicated to emergencies. That way, when something goes wrong, you'll feel much better knowing you have the funds to fix it without worrying about warranty costs. For example, take a look at successful entrepreneurs like Warren Buffett. He's not only known for his investment wisdom, but also for his ability to manage finances efficiently. One of his principles is always being prepared to face risks and not spending money on unnecessary things. That's why he never invests in extended warranties or expensive insurance policies. He creates a reserve fund for anything that could arise. By developing a habit of saving for emergency fund, you're not only protecting your finances, but you'll also be able to use that money for bigger investments or plans in the future. Number 13, subscriptions you don't use. Have you ever noticed that you're paying for services that you never actually use? Think about those streaming services, music subscriptions, or even premium apps that you signed up for, only to never open them again. By the end of the month, the charges keep coming, but you get nothing in return. There are so many services we sign up for because they seem necessary at the time, only to forget about them later. A classic example is streaming services like Netflix or Spotify. You might have signed up, but now you don't have the time to watch movies or listen to music. You're paying every month, but the only thing you're getting is the regret when you realize you've used the service only a few times in the month, or even the entire year. If you don't carefully manage these services, they become black holes sucking up money that you don't even notice. The important thing is that you need to regularly review all the services you subscribe to. Do you still use them? Be honest with yourself and assess which ones are actually necessary and used often. Don't hesitate to cancel those that no longer serve you. Not only will this save you a small amount of money every month, but it will also help you focus on what truly matters. Take Elon Musk, for example. He's one of the richest people in the world, but he's known for living a surprisingly frugal lifestyle and not splurging on unnecessary things. He shared numerous times that when he started building SpaceX, he only spent money on the things that truly mattered to the company's growth and always reviewed unnecessary expenses. Managing finances well is a big part of how he's achieved the success he has today. In fact, eliminating unnecessary services can help you save hundreds of dollars each year. Try it. Don't let these unclear expenses dominate your wallet. Number 14, cable TV. Have you ever sat in front of the TV, scrolling through hundreds of channels, and found nothing interesting? And yet, you still pay for a monthly cable TV service, even though you never use most of those channels. How many of us are paying for cable packages with dozens of channels, but we only watch a handful of them? We all know the cable TV is quite expensive, but we don't get its full value. Surely, you can't sit all day watching every program, especially when there are countless streaming services that cost much less and offer more flexible content. Paying for those cable packages isn't just a waste. It also leaves you feeling dissatisfied when you know you're only using a fraction of the service. Consider cutting your cable package and switching to more affordable streaming services. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus are great options with reasonable prices, and you can handpick the content you want to watch. Plus, you won't have to worry about paying for channels you never watch. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, is a prime example of focusing on technology and innovation instead of relying on outdated methods. As Amazon grew, he concentrated on providing value to consumers through flexible, cost-effective services. Instead of spending large sums on traditional services, he innovated with convenient models like Prime Video and home delivery, saving both time and money for customers. Cutting out cable TV is a simple yet effective way for you to save monthly while taking advantage of more modern and convenient services. Number 15, car leasing or financing. Have you ever felt trapped by a long-term financial commitment due to your car? Sometimes we choose to lease or finance a new car, hoping it will elevate our status or shape how others perceive us. But the truth is, many people find themselves in financial stress from having to pay monthly for these expensive car loans or leases. When you lease or finance a car, you're actually paying for an asset that depreciates quickly. The car only retains its real value in the first few years, and after that, It loses value while you continue to pay for something that doesn't provide long-term benefits. Cars not only depreciate over time, but they also come with additional costs like maintenance, insurance, and gas. Instead of enjoying the new car, you're burdened by the continuous payments. Instead of leasing or financing a new car, consider buying a used car that still maintains quality but costs much less. This will not only save you a significant amount, but will also avoid unnecessary future expenses. Don't forget that a car is a means of transportation, not a tool to flaunt your status or self-worth. Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla, is a prime example of shifting the mindset in spending. Though Tesla is famous for its high-end electric cars, Musk always encourages people to choose cost-effective vehicles that meet their needs instead of going after expensive ones. This reflects a level of prudence in spending on things that truly provide long-term value. So, instead of being stuck with long-term loans for a car, choose smarter financial options. Buying a used car is a way to manage finances wisely and focus on long-term financial goals. Number 16. Unused gym membership. Who among us hasn't walked into a gym with big plans to get fit? Buying a gym membership, signing up for fitness classes, or even joining expensive training programs. At first, everything seems fine. You imagine yourself getting healthier and more active every day. But after a while, the gym membership remains in your wallet, unused. At first, you may go and work out, but gradually excuses start to pile up. Work, family, social gatherings. All of these cause you to forget about that gym membership you've already paid for. Eventually, you realize you're spending money on something you never use. Gym memberships or expensive fitness programs are just like an investment that you never get any return from. When you spend money on a gym membership, you're not only losing money on the monthly subscription, but you also spend extra on transportation, insurance, and other related costs. Moreover, if you don't use it regularly, the money spent becomes not only a waste but also a source of regret for not taking full advantage of it. Signing up for a gym membership isn't necessarily a bad habit, but if you're not truly committed, it will just become a pointless financial burden. If you realize that you're not actually using the gym membership, start reconsidering that spending. Sometimes, focusing on simple at-home workouts or participating in online fitness classes is enough to maintain health without spending a large sum. Instead of being tied to a long-term contract with a gym, you can look for cheaper gyms or join community sport groups where you can make new friends while saving costs. Especially, home workouts like yoga, running, or programs on YouTube are not only effective but also free. Richard Branson, founder of Virgin Group, exemplifies how to utilize simple opportunities to maintain health without unnecessary costs. Branson has said that he has exercised and played sports all his life, but was never obsessed with going to the gym. Instead, he enjoys outdoor activities like hiking, cycling, or even playing tennis with friends. This not only keeps him healthy, but also helps him maintain a positive and energetic mindset in his work. So, instead of being stuck with unnecessary gym costs, look for workout methods that fit your habits and lifestyle. Sometimes, what matters isn't how much money you spend on exercise, but whether you have the motivation and discipline to maintain a healthy routine every day. Remember, health is the most valuable asset, and you can maintain it with reasonable costs without having to spend too much on things you don't really need. Number 17. Sports betting. Sports betting carries with it a powerful temptation. It makes you feel as if you have control over every situation, that you can predict the outcomes of games, that with a stroke of luck, you could win big and change your life. But the truth is, sports betting, like all forms of gambling, is a game of chance. The odds of winning are incredibly low, and those who do win are often just the ones who beat the statistics for a short time. And as you continue placing bets without a clear strategy, you are merely funneling money into a financial black hole with no chance of retrieving it. Even those who spend their entire lives in the betting world have a winning rate no higher than that of a beginner. It becomes an addiction, constantly hoping for the next win, while in reality, you're slowly losing your money in time, instead of risking uncertain amounts. Why not invest in more sustainable, profitable opportunities? Consider investing in financial funds, stocks, or even learning a new skill to increase your income. These choices are not only safer, but also bring long-term value. Investing in your education and career is a way to protect your finances and build a solid future, rather than relying on random luck. Look at successful people like Warren Buffett, and you will clearly see that he never bets on the unpredictable. Instead, he built his career and wealth through intelligent, sustainable investments. Buffett always says, never put all your money in one bet. And indeed, investment intelligence comes not from gambling, but from long-term strategies with clear plans. Sports betting may bring a thrill, but the true value does not lie in it. Remember, the things that bring long-term financial stability are not games of chance, but intelligent choices, strategic planning, and patience. Whether you win or lose in a bet, you will never truly win if you continue sinking deeper into this habit. Invest in yourself, in your career, and in values that can truly change your life. 18. Buying lottery tickets. Perhaps more than once, you have found yourself standing in front of a lottery ticket counter, eyes filled with hope as you look at those tickets, carrying dreams of life-changing fortune. You buy a ticket, thinking that this could be your chance to obtain a massive fortune overnight. Every time you check the results, you silently think, maybe today I'll win. And so, you continue buying tickets as a habit, a way to seek your luck. However, behind those moments is a reality that's far less bright. Buying lottery tickets is essentially an entirely ineffective expenditure. The odds of winning the jackpot are incredibly low, almost non-existent. You can only purchase hope, not a real opportunity to change your life. According to a study, the odds of winning a lottery jackpot are 1 in 292 million. A number so tiny that you cannot realistically rely on it to build a financial plan for the future. Each time you buy a ticket, you're spending money with no guarantee of ever receiving value for that money. Many people fall into the trap of lottery tickets, feeling as though they can change their life with just one win. But this is truly an illusion. You will soon realize that the money you spend on tickets can never compare to the amount you actually need to create lasting changes in your life. Instead of investing in tickets that don't deliver results, why not break this habit and invest in opportunities that hold real value? One excellent choice is to invest in savings or investment funds, where, even with risk, you can still have control and see growth over time. You could even start with small amounts to lay the foundation for a solid financial future. Look at successful investors like Ray Dalio or Warren Buffett, and you'll realize that they never rely on luck. Instead, they developed clear, patient, and consistent investment strategies. Warren Buffett once shared, "Investing your mind is the best investment you can make." And indeed, learning, self-development, and investing in areas that can offer sustainable returns is the path to success. So, instead of dreaming about a lucky lottery ticket, why not invest in real opportunities, things that can help you grow your wealth steadily? Your finances won't change from winning the lottery, but they will grow through perseverance, intelligence, and wise long-term investment decisions. Start today, and over time, you will see the stark difference. Number 19. The cost of expensive dates. Surely, we've all had those romantic evenings with our loved ones, enjoying delicious meals, expensive wine, or a fancy cocktail at a high-end restaurant. Those extravagant dinners bring joy and happiness, but are they truly the best way to keep the flame of love alive? In reality, expensive dates don't always equate to lasting bonds in a relationship. Although high-cost dates bring a sense of glamour, they can become a financial burden in the long run. A night out at fancy restaurants or spending on costly items can sometimes be a temporary way to impress, but they don't create real value for your relationship. Have you ever thought that these expensive dates might just be a way to cover up other gaps in affection, instead of building a true emotional connection? No matter how much you spend on these romantic nights, the relationship won't be sustainable without sincerity, understanding, and mutual sharing. Moreover, if every time you go on a date, you spend a large amount, this is a long-term, unnecessary expense. You will soon realize that spending on luxury doesn't replace the value of quality time spent together, chatting, sharing, and creating meaningful memories. Change your dating habits. You don't need to spend large sums to prove your affection, because true value in a relationship doesn't come from expensive gifts or lavish dinners. Instead, you can create beautiful memories through simple yet meaningful activities. A stroll in the park, a homemade dinner, or even a picnic can create wonderful moments without needing to spend too much money. Look at famous couples like Bill and Melinda Gates or Beyoncé and Jay-Z. They built long-lasting relationships not through spending money on luxurious items, but through respect, mutual support, and sharing valuable moments. Love's connection cannot be measured by money, but by the memories you create together. Start changing your dating habits. It doesn't have to be expensive dinners or lavish gifts. It just needs to be moments you share with all your heart, and you'll find that love will grow stronger over time. Okay, here's an English version, keeping it concise, around 300 words. Number 20. Smart travel. Spending many dream of luxurious vacations with first-class flights and 5-star hotels. However, is that truly the best use of your money? More cost-effective options can still deliver memorable experiences. Booking premium flights and hotels during peak seasons is expensive and creates a financial burden. This money could be better allocated to long-term financial goals. Extravagant spending often lacks lasting value. Peak season travel can cost 2 to 3 times more than off-season. Luxury hotel amenities, while tempting, might not be necessary for a short getaway. To enjoy wonderful vacations without excessive costs, plan smartly and seek affordable alternatives. Book early for deals and consider services like Airbnb for unique, budget-friendly accommodations. Opt for cozy boutique hotels or local guest houses instead of international chains. Meaningful trips don't require extravagance. Backpacking, outdoor adventures, or off-season travel can be incredible without draining your bank account. Richard Branson advocates exploring lesser-known destinations over typical luxury vacations. True value lies in exploration, not extravagance. Experience new things without overspending. The best vacations are relaxing and rejuvenating without financial stress. Consider smarter, more economical choices when planning trips. Memorable vacations are about the moments created, not the luxury. Seek genuine relaxation and joy without incurring debt. Money is a tool for building your future, not just for fleeting desires. Warren Buffett prioritizes investing for lasting wealth over splurging. Invest in appreciating assets instead of depreciating material possessions. Be mindful of every dollar spent. Luxury items offer instant gratification, but not long-term financial peace. Use your money wisely for important goals like emergency funds, education, or retirement savings. Success comes from daily decisions, not possessions. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. What we've explored today holds the key to transforming how you see your finances in your life. No matter where you are in your journey, the most important lesson is this: financial control isn't a distant dream. It's a process you can start today. Don't let bad habits pull you into the vortex of mindless spending. Take action, change gradually, and you will see the results. Wishing you strength and success in mastering your finances and investing in your future.